Hello and welcome to today's Business Spotlight, where we are joined by Harvey of RiVR. Alex, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for having us on and having a little conversation today. Good to meet you.
Absolute pleasure. So good to meet you. Thanks for joining us. I dive straight in, Alex, to be honest. So please do tell us what you do and how long you've been doing it for.
Okay, yeah. So I basically I run a company. There's 20 of us in the business at the moment, and we make virtual reality training and augmented reality training for the blue light services all over the world. And there's a lot of different things to that, which I'm sure we'll go into more detail. But we basically create products that blue light services use to recreate training in a sort of safer environment than they would normally do their day-to-day training. That's mainly the things that we do, but that includes things like scanning of a photorealistic crime scene, recreating the whole crime scene so that investigators can walk around and pick things up and interact with product items inside that crime scene, and also burnt scenes. So imagine a fire investigator that would go into a burnt building to work out the causation of a fire. We recreated the whole of a fire investigator's job, if you like, in a VR headset. So you put a headset on, walk around our scene, investigate things with a torch and a camera and look underneath tables, everything that you do in the real world, but we sell that back to them as a safer way of doing their training. That's one of the products we do. And one of the other products is called RiVR Link, which I'm sure we can talk about more. It's more of a video-based training product where they shoot their own video content.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. As a massive crime scene investigation fan and Columbo fan, I can just imagine that this is a brilliant sort of gamification of training, like an opportunity to go into a scene and kind of dissect it, but on multiple levels to get multiple opinions. Yeah.
At the moment, what they do all over the world is they will, at the back of a fire station, they have a metal container and they dress the metal container so it looks like a front room or a kitchen or a bathroom with fake props. Then they burn the container and then they put 5 investigators into the container to investigate the causation of that fire. What we do is we built 6 containers of our own and we burnt them with the fire brigade, then put the fire out, and then every single item that comes out of that container, we do a photogrammetry scan of. And photogrammetry is the process of taking thousands of images of any object, person or place, and making a 3D object out of that thing. So we did that inside 6 containers and then recreated all these containers so that everyone all over the world doesn't have to burn the containers anymore. They just go into the virtual reality headset and investigate the fire with their torch and camera. It's a lot safer, it's a lot cleaner, it saves money, and they can have multiplayer, so they can have multiple people inside the same scene at the same time. And we sell that on a license fee all over the world. That's for fire and crime scene investigation. That's one of our products. And the other product is called RiVR Link. And RiVR Link is a box of headsets. So imagine a school or university or an organization that's doing health and safety training.
Yeah.
They have a box of 15 headsets. They open the box, they pull out the headsets, they put a headset on everyone in the meeting room. You all put the headset on, and we show you the fire escape or the procedures for how to. I'm just trying to think of how to do training that they would do in a train station, for example. We do police, fire, and health and safety training inside a headset. But this one I'm talking about now is video based. So this is content shot on a 360 camera. A 360 camera is a ball of cameras and it films everything all at the same time. We teach them how to shoot their own content inside their own buildings. So it's very different than the first thing I just mentioned, which is a game world that you walk around.
Yeah.
That's specifically for investigation. This is now for everyone that wants to have knowledge retention is 4 times increased in VR. So you remember things better than you would if you watched a PowerPoint presentation or a PDF or e-learning. So now we're doing things like we're giving, I keep going back to fire, but it's not always fire. Let's talk about health and safety. So the HS2 railway, we provide them with cameras on sticks and they film what it's like on site. And instead of doing the site induction where they walk everybody around the site, they do it in VR headsets, so they can look around. This is a hazard. That is a hazard, and they teach people about the actual specific site. So it's contextual training created by them, implemented in a box of VR headsets, and we make the software and the hardware in that box. That's another product. That's the one that sells the most. So that's the one that allows us to have 20 staff.
That's so cool. That's so cool. You're talking a modern language that we can absorb, and that's a really interesting stat, isn't it? 4 times an
Knowledge
increase
retention.
by 4 times for knowledge retention, using more of our senses. Incredible. Oh my gosh, tell me a little bit about what motivated you to start the business, please, Alex.
Well, I used to work at Codemasters, the racing game company, and that's based down the road in Warwickshire. So I did 8 years at Codemasters, and I was the video editor. So I used to make the game trailers for the games that people play, like racing games like Dirt and Colin McRae Rally. I was the editor, so it was my job to make the game look amazing, so people would buy the game. So I worked there for about 8 years. And in 2016, I left Codemasters and I started creating promotional videos for high-end property, like finding country homes. So in the game world, I would fly a drone around in the game to capture a good angle of a car crash. And then in the real world, I flew drones around houses and property videos. So it was like taking that skill of flying a drone as a camera from a game world to real world. And then we started doing 360 video for Thompson Holidays. So they'd send us on cruise ships around the world to film their planes and their cruise ships. And that's actually how we made the software for VR. We started filming 360 video, and the holiday shops wanted to consume it in the holiday shop with 4 people all wearing the same headset at the same time, so that a mum, dad, and 2 kids could experience what it's like on a cruise ship in the holiday shop. That's how the software started, and the company started from that. And now we've found that to be so powerful with the knowledge retention that we just rolled it out to everywhere. It's literally applicable to every industry.
Yeah, we buy on our emotions. So that's genius. That's absolutely genius.
From
Oh my God.
It's interesting that you say that, from our emotions, because when I made the game trailers for Codemasters, it was all about making you cry so that you bought the game. Basically, I wanted to bring out emotion in people from having, the trailers look really powerful and amazing. We did the same thing with VR, and then people could see that they could sell holidays more. But also, if you bring out emotion in people and put them in a scenario for health and safety, they remember it. Like it's moved now to, we don't even have to sell it anymore. Especially now, Apple are bringing out their headset in January, their new Vision Pro headset.
Yeah.
Now that's the thing I've been waiting for. Apple have now made the move into VR. If they hadn't made the move, we might still be fighting everyone to try and. I don't have to sell it anymore. I just have to say, yeah, it's the same as the Apple headset, and people understand what's happening.
Oh, I'm losing you a little bit, Alex. Sorry. Oh, I think we've lost.
Well,
I think we've lost signal.
I can.
Oh, you're back.
I see. I can still hear you.
Oh, okay. You went black on my screen, and you've frozen on mine.
I can still hear you. Okay.
Oh, I think the signals. So it's I'm really pleased that you can hear me, but I've got you frozen on my screen, unfortunately, and you're coming in and out from a volume, from an auditory perspective.
Yeah, that might.
Oh,
Are we back?
I can see you. I can see you.
Sorry about this. This is the downside of being out and about. Just about to go up a tower.
It certainly is. You were just saying that you'd been what was it, 3D filming a historic building in Warwick, and now you've jumped in here to speak to us, and then you're going to go up a tower and do some more
Yeah,
film.
there's a lot of things that are going on. I mean,
Oh
this
wow.
is that we scanned on top of a building, um, and that is I like to work on new things, so I can talk about that quickly if you want. But yeah, I'm in a coffee shop because I'm about to go up a tower to scan the historical items at the top of the church. With
Oh,
that
wow.
urn is being restored on the top of a building in Warwick, and it was going to cost £7,000 for the mold maker to come and scan the urn and
Yeah.
then make a replica of it and be £1,000 for every one they make. They need 8 of them. So I went and scanned it with my mobile phone, made a 3D version of it, cleaned it up in software, 3D printed it, and then filled the 3D print with constituted stone, reconstituted stone. And now we're making them for about half the price of the original way. And we don't have to remove them. They were going to have to cut them off the top of the building and take them to London to mold them. But now we just 3D scan them in situ and then 3D print and then make the cast. So those things interest me. There's a big bit of the business that is historical.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. What a ingenious way to produce those, and especially with the ability to keep to protect the original ones on top of the church whilst reproducing them. Gosh, you could fill your boots in Warwickshire, couldn't you, with historic buildings? So loads of projects that you can get your teeth stuck into if that kind of thing interests you.
Yeah, we have multiple projects ongoing at the moment with different National Lottery heritage funding. There's
Uh-huh.
3 in Warwick that we're working on already. This is just a little sideline that I just showed you because we're talking about it today.
Yeah.
We've 3D scanned the whole of Warwick and turned it into a 3D model, and it's going into the museum in Warwick where children will hold an iPad over the 3D model, and the model will come to life and show the path of the fire of Warwick as it travelled through Warwick in 1694 as an animation and voiceover. So those things, yeah, we like pushing in areas where I think there can be a really good improvement for learning.
That's
History being one of them.
incredible. That's so cool. I've got a teen and he studied the fire of Warwick. We've also been at the One World Centre. So we've had the iPad where we've scanned over New York and then it brings up the current buildings, but then also when things would have sort of historic buildings as well. So so I've got a bit of I can imagine that.
And it's fascinating because your memory of that place is now linked to the holding of this iPad and looking around. And I
Oh,
think that's
absolutely.
just a good way to learn.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I think the more senses personally, the more senses I can use, then the more it sticks in. Yeah, definitely. So if I'm physically holding and then absorbing the information through sight and not just reading it, 100%. And if anybody can make health and safety training more interesting, because I've done a couple of those in my time as well, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Well, you've told us a little bit about what motivated you. Certainly your journey through working with Codemasters and creating the business as it stands now, and also working on projects that interest you. Has it been everything that you hoped it would be?
Yeah, the the journey has been amazing, and since Codemasters, I mean, I loved the job at Codemasters. It was the best job I could ever wish for. I was testing computer games and traveling around the world to do video edits, so it
Brilliant.
was perfect and amazing. But this job or this role, this career, this company has allowed me to be totally flexible. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to have the flexibility to create new products, and I could never do that when I was making videos for houses. Making house videos for finding country homes was very much a service that I was doing. Well, we had to have products if I wanted to be able to do more things. So now Riverlink, River Investigate, and River CSI are the products that allow me to have that flexibility to climb up a building and go and scan a church tower And a few weeks ago, we flew into Tesla in California to film a 3D video behind the scenes in their gigafactory. I'm sorry, the Fremont factory in California. That's where it is so fun for me. We can just go and work on new projects, and yeah, it is now everything that I wanted it to be. I love where we are now, but it's taken a while to get comfortable.
Okay. Well, it's really quite interesting, the order in which you said this job, this career, this company, this business.
Yeah. Yeah. That's because it is a company, it is a business, and there is people that I brought in that do money, and they call it closing the door after me, because I am rubbish, absolutely rubbish at doing money, at doing HR, payroll. Anything to do with that is handed over to someone else. I am literally talk to people, do shows and ideas and film things, scan things. I don't want to do any of the money side of it. It bores me. I don't like being in the office. I like to be out of the office every day. I say to them, I'll just provide you with an idea or a new project every week, a new idea, and you can tell me what you think to it. And that's how we've got to where we are, really, just allowing me to do what I want to do.
It's brilliant how you've identified that as well as you have, because with a lot of business owners, I'm speaking to a lot of business owners on Spotlight, and it's even the points in running the business that they don't like, the money, the people, the HR, even the points of the functions that they don't enjoy, they feel that they have to do them because they're the business owner. And what you've clearly identified, and you're shaking your head, no, not at all. Did you know straight off the bat, or?
I think it's not the norm. I would definitely say that probably the norm is learn about the money, learn about the business, learn about tax and VAT. I am crap at all of that. And so when I started the business, I said to 5 other people, I'll give you a percentage of this percent, this percent, this percent, because I can't do these things. So I, off the bat, knew that I wouldn't be able to do those things. And I brought people in to help me with those things. So it's only one way of doing it. It might be good for some people to learn all of those areas, but I hate being bored. So I couldn't do VAT and tax. Yeah. I'd rather be thinking about ideas, but for other people, it might be totally different. And I would just say to people all the time, you've got to be doing the things you absolutely love. Like, we're not going to be here forever. And I decided that 10 years ago. Like, you need to get out there and do the things that you love, else you're going to be just wasting your time. Yeah. And it's hard for some people because people have bills and things to pay, and they're stuck in a job with a mortgage and all that. So I was probably in a unique situation where I didn't mind living in a 1-bedroom flat, and I still live in that now. So yeah, it's not statusy cars and money and watches and clothes is not a thing that I'm interested in. I get pleasure out of having freedom to make new ideas. Yeah.
Understanding what gives you pleasure. I think what's going to be really interesting takeaway with what you've just said, Alex, is there's a lot of people out there that have great ideas and want to start a business, but tell themselves that because they don't know the money, the tax, the finances, that they can't. And actually what you've given them is a way of, no, you can do what lights you up, and just employ the people that can do the stuff that you can't do.
Yeah, and it might not
hold you back.
It might not be that you have to make a company. It might just be that you're doing a little project where you go and review coffee shops, for example, as a video because you really like coffee. And it might not need to be a bigger company. It's just finding out what you really like. People might like posh cars and big houses, in which case you better find a job that makes you loads of money. Yeah. I get more of a kick out of scanning things and coming up with a new idea. So yeah, people sometimes trapped in that the money bit, which is a bit.
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be about that. It should be about what you like doing.
Yeah, definitely trapped in the money bit, or just trapped which is really sad because, like you say, we're only here once. But tell me more about RiVR, please. What is it that you do that makes you stand out in the industry, fast growing industry?
Yeah, the biggest standout that got us the most recognition about 4 years ago was that we made photorealistic environments for the US government and the UK government. So we did like counter-terrorism training scenes after the 7/7 bombings. We were commissioned because we could make photorealistic virtual reality using photogrammetry. We were employed to make scenes for DSTL, the Home Office, the US Department of Defense, and we would scan a terrorism flat. You know, like they found some flats after 7/7s where the people made the bombs.
Oh yeah.
We recreated those bomb flats in VR and allowed all the police officers to train and find out the telltale signs of what those peroxide on the side and all the bath full of explosives and stuff. We made those bomb scenes for people. So that was the standout bit. And as soon as we did high-end virtual reality for people like that and Axon, who make the body-worn police camera, we did VR scenes for those guys, stop and search, taser training stuff.
Yeah.
After we did that, it was a clear path to then make amazing products for the blue light services off the back of doing photorealistic stuff for the government. So that was the biggest bit we did, that like the standout stuff.
Amazing. And would you say that that's what you would attribute your growth to, that sort of journey of?
Not really the growth, that was just sort of the catalyst. Maybe the starting point was that. The next bit is probably we've been at every trade show that you can think of to do with virtual reality or healthcare for the last 5 years. I've got a lanyard collecting thing in the office, and I actually loaded a load more on it today. So meeting people and being at the shows, every show we have a stand where people can come along and try VR, and we're at every show and we make videos from every show. So because video was my thing back in the day of Codemasters, video is now a thing that we've done for 5 years. We've never paid for any marketing on any video. We just do, whenever we do a show, we film 3 or 4 videos on the day of the show and we upload them to all the platforms on the day of the show. It frustrates the hell out of me when people make a video at a show and then release it 3 weeks later after they've edited it. It makes me want to puke on my shoes. Like, you need to do the videos on the day of the show. And then I've got my list somewhere of all the platforms, but there's Alex Harvey platforms and there's RiVR platforms for all of our videos. But we do all of them. Like, there's Instagram stories, Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn, Twitter or X, Facebook. Every single platform for me, we put the video on, and then every single platform for RiVR, we put the video on. And now there's a team of people that do that, but it used to just be me that did all of that. So I would attribute growth to content, daily content, photos and video on every platform of everything we do. People get frustrated in the office because I'll just be filming them at their desk saying, "What are you doing today?" I did it today in the office. What are you working on? What are you working on? Put it online, every platform. That we've been doing and have been ahead of the curve for video for the last 5 years. I think that's probably more the attribution is probably more towards that.
Awesome. No, that's a great show. What are people missing if they create their video? So they're doing the work, but they post it 3 weeks later. What are they missing? What makes you want to puke on your shoes?
Probably the fact that everyone at that show, wherever they're at that day, are going to the bars and hotels and surrounding area in that local place, and they're looking at content. And it's all geo-tagged to the place they're at. So it should be #Houston, #Washington, or wherever you are. You should be tagging all the people in that area. If you do it 3 weeks later and go #Houston, everyone's at home in the UK and they're not going to see the things that were there. And they might see it because it's on a feed, but if they're at the show, they're always really much more impressed about seeing something from that day at the show. Like, oh, I remember that, share. I remember that, like. That's probably the bit they're missing. Yeah, just do it on the day. Video should be throwaway. Video should be the same as a tweet and a photo. You should just film it, film it, film it, 10-second upload, done. It should be like TikTok and videos now would not be thought about too much. Don't have production values that are amazing. Just make content. Don't even create it. Just document what you're doing.
Just to reiterate what you said, speed is better than perfection. And yeah, and there genuinely was a point where it was perfection. Like you'd have the brand managers come down and say move it, even if it was a couple of centimeters. However, now it's throwaway. It's get it up, get it on, do another video the next day.
People are consuming in 10-second bursts on Instagram, on TikTok, and that's the way things are going to be. People are only going to consume something big for 10 or 15 minutes if they're really, really invested in that content, which is pretty rare. But you've got to hit someone with the first 3 seconds. The first second's got to be engaging.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's such an important thing that I wanted to just bring back up. But tell me, considering you are in between jobs and catching us in a coffee shop, I kind of get a feel for how your life is. But how do you balance your personal life with the demands of running a business?
This might be different for most people's answers. I'm not sure. I don't know who you spoke to, but there is no balance for me. Zero balance. This is my fun. This is my chill out. This is my book reading. This is my holiday. I travel with work, and that's my traveling. I go to a show in Houston. I went and saw the starships that Elon's been making in Boca Chica, the rockets. I've seen 3 rocket launches in Florida. Like my work is my play. Climbing up a tower is what I do if I had no money issues. I'm already doing the things that I want to do. So there is no balance. My girlfriend understands that. She's amazingly accepting of that, and she's finding the same balance in her life, which is just do the things that you love and try and make that your job. It's not for everyone. I understand it's not for everyone, but my mind is a million mile an hour at night and in the day, and it's always about the same thing: scanning, videoing, documenting, and putting content out there. So there is no balance. It's very different to most people that say you should really have a balance between this and that, and I just say no, not for me. Different.
So you're right. I've not had that answer before.
Okay.
But what a brilliant answer, because it's everything's from us, and so trying to split ourselves is only going to cause
whatever you do, whatever you're doing on a Saturday and Sunday that is your relaxing chill out, you should make that your Monday to Friday.
How wouldn't we
It
all
gets
feel?
people thinking, but that's what I do, so it's possible. It's just depends what your Sunday night thing is. I want people to work for me that are doing on the Monday to Friday what they do on their Sunday night.
That is such a great statement. That's a brilliant statement.
You can cut that out. We can use that on Instagram.
Yeah, definitely. I'll make sure that this gets over to you. You've got me thinking now, what am I doing on Sunday night? Can I carry it over for the weekend?
Maybe.
But I will think more about that in my own time. What would you say has been your biggest learning?
Things take ages.
Yeah.
Things take absolutely ages. I've got this thing on my wall in my bedroom. I don't have it out on the show, but it says something like entrepreneurship is spending, and it used to say spending a few years like most people won't, so that I can have a life that most people can't. But I've crossed out the word few, and I've changed it for 10. 10 years. This is how long it's taken to get to here. I had a bit of a moment when I was 32. I'm now 43. When I was 32, I was like, I just want to do my own thing and do my own path. And I have this big statement of this statement really works for me. And it said a few years. I'm like, no, I crossed it out the other week. I'm like, I wrote over it with a big black pen, 10 years. So the biggest learning is things take ages, like never the next day. You think you can have this idea and then change it, and the next day you can change everything, but it takes 5 years, 2 years, 10 years. It's not quick. Everything's really slow.
Yeah. Why was that an important lesson for you to understand, to learn?
Because I'm still impatient, but I understand that things take 10 years, but I want everything now. I don't want to wait for anything, which is a bit of an issue. Um, but I have to pull it back and be like, there are things that I have to wait for. So I think it's that extreme. It's like being really impatient, but then being calm and knowing that it does take ages.
Hmm.
Everything's taken ages. We've got 20 staff and we turn over, we just turn over nearly 2 million this year and projected like 4 million next year.
Hmm.
But we started by doing a video for £500 at
And so,
Codemasters. We do video for 500 quid.
yeah. So it's the journey. It's the journey that gets you there. I like the fact that you're still impatient, but you're calm with that impatience. So it's a calm within the storm of I want it now.
I'm happy with both. I'm happy in both areas now.
Yeah.
And if you push on both of those extremes, I think things happen better.
Mm. Yeah, there's something about keeping it cool for sure. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I'd love to end with some words of advice for other business owners who are also looking to grow their business, please, Alex.
I guess where do I see, if you say 5 years, you're saying 5 years or 5 hours?
Yep.
5 years.
5 years. That's your impatience coming in.
Yeah. So 5 years, I definitely want to be, I've got a big thing that I want to create that is a series called Step Inside. I want to be doing Step Inside episodes, which is immersive behind the scenes documentaries. That's basically what I want to do, but I want to do it for all different types of things. Like I want to be going behind the scenes in crime scene investigation, making a documentary film. But after you finish watching the documentary film, you put on a VR headset and investigate the crime yourself on your sofa at home. I want to do Step Inside for Formula One. I want to go to every Formula One event and do a Step Inside. It's basically an immersive documentary would allow you to watch a normal traditional 2D film, but at the end of it, you put a headset on and walk around the environment photorealistic and investigate things or go behind the scenes of the Royal Ballet. We've just been doing a project with them, which is the first step inside. But also we're in the process of talking to people about investments for RiVR. We've never taken any investment. So that's something we're going through now as a process, which will allow me to do more things and be faster, have a bigger team.
Yeah.
So in 5 years' time, I'll definitely probably just ironically, I'll probably have the team. The team will be big and there'll be lots of people working on the products that we've made, but my team will probably be smaller. I could see myself, I want to have a team of about 3, 4 people. Now with AI, 3 and 4 people is probably fine for me. And I want to be able to be flying different places and creating new products every month. I want to just have new idea every month and present it back to people. So like an innovation team they have inside big companies,
Mm.
I don't think that these innovation teams are being very innovative because at 5:30 they're all clocking off and going home to play golf. So I think that they're not passionate about that company enough. So I'd be the person that would come into a company and do something innovative in whatever area they're trying to do it in and then leave. That's probably what I'll see in 5 years. But
Nice,
yeah,
that's incredible.
I want to do that tomorrow though.
I was about to say 5 hours. I heard. I did hear
Hmm.
5 hours. Freudian slip there. 5 hours. That's incredible, and I think that's going to create a real impact. That step inside sounds awesome. I know for one that if my husband was watching Formula One and then was able to put a VR headset on and then drive his favorite track, drive Spa or something, gosh, it would blow his mind. I'd lose him. I'd lose him for more than 2 hours on a Sunday. And what words of advice would you have for other business owners looking to grow, Alex?
Grow or for starting?
Oh, well, now that you've said starting, please may I have both? So yeah, so advice for a business looking to start and then take it to the next level.
Okay, so for starting, I'd say come up with the passionate idea that you really like, and then just get other people to do the things that you don't like, the money, the payroll, the whatever it is that you don't like doing. You might love payroll, but buy someone in to do ideas. Like But then the other side of it for growth is just pure video, every platform, 10-second videos, 5 of them a day on every platform. That's the growth. I think people will see it. You just got to do that for a year and a half, not just do it for a day and then think that it's done. It's never enough, always more. And video. It's like this, the mobile phone is like everyone's remote controller for the world. Like I've got a friend here, I finally sat next to me, who's on his phone, like just on his phone, and that everyone in this coffee shop is probably on their phone or on their tablet consuming stuff. So just make content that hits all those people. No one's watching telly anymore. They're all watching their phone and a bit of telly. So yeah, content.
Would you say, just to finish off, because I can almost hear a bit of sort of other industries saying, yeah, but that's not going to work for my industry. You're creative. I'm an accountant, or I'm a solicitor, so I can't really, or I'm a financial advisor, so there's not much I can put online. What would you say to the people that say I can't do that for my business?
It depends if they're allowed to talk about things. If there are solicitors that are trying to grow the company, then they could very much talk about the people that work in their office, and they can talk about how that person really likes their job. But it is going to be hard if people are not there doing their passion. If they're there in an office and they're not really doing the thing they love, I don't really know. My brain gets broken when people are not doing their passion. So I don't know. The solicitors could definitely do some sort of social media, but it's probably limited because there might be cases they can't talk about. It depends if they're trying to grow it. If they're trying to grow it, then do that. If they've got enough customers and they're fine doing where they are, maybe they don't need to do social media. It's a good point though. Maybe it isn't for every company to do social media. Maybe they've already grown the company enough and they want to do videos about them playing golf. They might have more traction with that. I'm not sure. Sorry.
No. I just thought I'd it's worth asking, because we do get a lot of people saying that there's, TikTok's not for them, or I can't work Instagram or Facebook or even LinkedIn.
Those are interesting conversations, because if there is a need for that company to grow and they did want to use TikTok, and their excuse is they don't know how to do it. People didn't know how to drive a car, but they learned how to drive a car, most people. Or people didn't know how to use an iPad, but they learned how to do pinch and zoom, and now it's a thing. Everyone's first response is to demonize any new technology, but anything from the past, nostalgic stuff, is always put on a pedestal for everyone. And that frustrates me.
You're so right. If we looked back in the past, we don't have door knockers anymore.
Yeah, ring doorbells.
We don't. Yeah, exactly. We we don't have rotary phones. I mean, unless of course you want to. Yeah, but things have moved. Things have moved on and moved forward. So are we embracing it? So many things, Alex, we've got from this conversation that business owners can relate to and can take away today. So I just want to say a massive thank you for joining us, and have fun up that tower.
I'm going there now. Yeah, really good to chat. Thank you. I'll speak soon.
Yeah, see you. Thanks, Alex.